Morning. Do y'all have any requests for today? Anything in particular y'all were wanting to work on? Good morning, Julia.
Hi.
Hi. Does that mean no requests? Everybody's good. We'll work on whatever.
Hey, Kevin, we're trying to fix audio issues here, so just ignore
Okay.
it.
You're good.
Oopsie.
We'll wait just another minute or two for if anybody late who wants to get on. I figured we'd work on upper back because we haven't done that in a while. If you have a rubber band type of contraption item of any sort, that would be a great addition to today. Hello, Shuj, how are you? So any type of rubber band, or if you don't have a rubber band type item, like a yoga strap or belt will also work. We can make that work for part of what we're gonna do. So just depending on what you have available, grab it and have it ready. Hello, Christina. All right, so like I said, a rubber band of some sort would be a good addition. If you don't have a rubber band, a yoga strap, a belt of some sort will also work. We're gonna work on upper back today. So kind of that thoracic area of the spine along the ribs, trying to find some more movement in that area. If you have different size balls, I would suggest using the slightly smaller ones, but use what you have. If you are using lacrosse balls, the peanut type lacrosse ball would be great to use today, but I would also have the two separated ones as well, because we'll probably use the two separated ones at the beginning and then go to more the peanut setup. So if you have your yoga tune-up type balls, the slightly softer balls, I would take them out of the tote for the time being. We'll use the separated balls at the beginning, and then we'll put them together at kind of towards the middle there. All right, we are just, I think we've got just about everybody. So let's get started. Peanut is great, but like I said, I would detote them to begin with. We'll get into the upper trap at the very beginning here. Let's retest arm flexion. So taking the arms overhead to see how far You can get, as you do this, keep the ribs tucked in. Try to resist that flare of the ribs just to get a true actual arm flexion out of it. Go through the motion a few times to get a sense of where your arms are today. And when you're ready, we'll grab for our balls. I suggest having a block available to put your hips on. If you don't have a block, a book or two might help to keep your hips up. You're going to start with the balls on the upper traps. This is going to be kind of this bra strap tank top area. One ball on each side, right in that upper trap, the meat of the upper trap. So set yourself up on your spine, one ball on each side, bra strap tank top. Grab your block, and you can place it just beneath the pelvis, right under the butt. It'll just add more pressure onto that upper trap. As the upper trap is a big stress muscle, I highly suggest just hanging out here for a few breaths. No need to find a bunch of movement. Just give yourself a moment to let the balls kind of sink in. Find a couple breaths, see if you can let any tension release. As you are breathing here, try to see the belly rise, belly fall with each inhale and each exhale. Now, if your upper traps are feeling super tight, super cranky today, you are welcome just to hang out in this position. If this feels like everything is feeling sore, you can just hang out with a sustained compression. No need to find movement. If it's feeling all right, not too tender, we can begin by digging our heels into the ground and creating a little up and down scrub. So driving your head towards the back of the room, back down towards the front of the room, just creating a little up and down movement, a little scrub of the upper trap. If the balls roll out of place, feel free to adjust them back to a place that is more to your liking. Keeping in mind you're not stuck with wherever you first put them. Even as you're scrubbing, you are breathing deep inhales, slow, steady exhales, sending the breath down to the belly. Once you are done with that up and down scrub, if you'd like to change it up a bit, you can bring your arms out to the side, create a little reach to the right, reach to the left, a little side to side kind of belly dancer movements, letting the ball scrub left to right as opposed to up and down. Once again, if the balls kind of roll out of place, feel free to readjust them. Get them in a spot that feels good for you. All right, and then we will set the balls up. We'll do one more little movement here, bringing the arms overhead. We're gonna go through a little bit of contract, relax. So you're gonna pretend like you're climbing a rope. With the right hand, you'll reach overhead. You'll feel that upper trap turn on, and then with your left hand, you'll reach overhead, as if you're climbing an imaginary rope. Should feel kind of terribly awesome. That kind of hurts so good sensation going on. We'll take about 2 more reaches, one reach each side, and then we'll let that go. Take your block out, set it off to the side. We are going to bring the balls together and move them down. So I'll sit up to show you. Bring the balls in, and then you'll move them down about 1 inch. So you're not quite between the shoulder blades yet. You're still in the upper back, kind of that area where the cervical spine turns into the thoracic spine. Hovering right around 1 ball on each side of your spine, setting the balls in place. Depending on how this feels and how your neck is, if you have neck issues, I suggest keeping your butt on the ground, even if the sensation is not quite as intense. If your neck is fine and you don't really have neck issues, you can pop your butt up onto a brick. Just be cautious because we are in the area of the neck here. We don't want to hyperextend or make anything irritated. From this position, we're going to do a little scrub. So digging your feet into the ground, just a small scrub up and down. We are kind of in that Dowager's hump area, kind of that C7, T1. So creating a little bit of friction right along the spine, hoping to combat that text neck, computer neck kind of sensation. Keeping your breath flowing, deep inhales, slow, steady exhales. Take just another few moments of that up and down scrub. And then we'll let the glutes rest to the ground or onto the block, depending on where you're at. And we're gonna find some neck movement here. So you are guiding your neck, you're not yanking on it. But you very gently clasp your hands behind your head, and with a lot of care, you'll guide your neck up to your chin, or your chin up to your chest, and then guide your head back down. So creating a little extra flexion, a little stretch on the back of the skull, up the back of the neck. Working with caution and care here. We'll go for about one more. And then we'll let that go. If your balls have traveled outward, you can scoot them back in. We're gonna take them down now, just about an inch or two. So you're kind of in the top third. You are now between your shoulder blades, but you're in the top third of that space between your shoulder blade. Keeping in mind, it doesn't need to be perfect. So if you're not 100% sure where you are, as long as you're in your upper spine, you're doing a great job. It does not by any means have to be perfect. Remembering this is all just made up. So do with it what you will. Find a good spot for you. With the balls in this position, we are gonna find some arm movement. So you're gonna take your right arm laid on the ground above you, your left arm by your side, and then you'll switch those two. Left arm will come overhead, right arm will come down by the side, and then you'll switch. If it feels good on your neck as you create the switch, your head can look towards the right, and then your head can look towards the left. As your arms move up and down, your head goes side to side, creating a little extra on the neck as you move it. Take one more each direction. And then we'll let that go. We are going to travel those balls down another inch or two. So now you're hopefully more or less smack dab right in the middle of your shoulder blades. Still hugging the spine, ball on either side, but what should feel like right in the middle of that upper back. Give yourself a moment to breathe if you need it. I'm quite sore in this area for whatever reason. So I'm going to take a moment and breathe. As I breathe in, I'm going to feel my rib cage expand outwards as well as backwards, trying to fill my rib cage into the ball. And then as I exhale, feeling that rib cage collapse. So taking a moment to breathe, finding that three-dimensional expansion of the rib cage with each breath in and each breath out. For me, that extra tension is starting to dissipate. So I'm going to say, if you want to find some movement, we can find some movement. Otherwise, you're welcome to just hang out and breathe. We'll bring the arms up towards the ceiling. We're going to come into some protraction and retraction. We do this on a tabletop a lot. But you're going to reach up towards the ceiling. Reach, reach, reach as if you're trying to grab something that's just beyond your fingertips. And then you'll squeeze the shoulder blades together behind you. Inhale, reach, 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 reach up towards the ceiling. Exhale, squeeze the shoulder blades behind you, give the balls a little hug. Inhale, reach. Exhale, squeeze. Let's take just a couple more here. And then we will let the arms rest down by the sides. We're going to move those balls down again, coming down to the bottom third of the shoulder blade. So you're still between the shoulder blades, you're just kind of slightly lower, the lower third of those shoulder blades. For the ladies, I'm still above my bra strap, if that helps you kind of find where you're at. You're just a couple inches above your bra strap, bra strap, guys. That would be a heart rate monitor area. You'd be just a couple of inches above that. Still in the shoulder blade region. Once again, this is still quite tender for me today for whatever reason. So I'm going to take a few breaths. As you hang out here, feeling that rib cage expand and contract with each inhale and each exhale, trying to find your way into your breath, finding as much movement of the rib cage as you can with each breath in and each breath out. Now that tenderness is starting to dissipate for me, so I'm going to start to find some movement. However, if it is still super tender for you, you're welcome to just hang out and breathe. There's nothing wrong with that. Working on our breath is always helpful. But we are going to come into some snow angel arms. So you're going to bring your arms down by your sides. Pretend your wrists are magnetized to the ground. And you're going to find snow angel arms, but only so far that you can keep your wrists connected to the ground through the entire range. So my wrists don't leave the ground even as I come more overhead. I'm stopping prior to them lifting. Once again, making sure you are breathing deep inhales, slow, steady exhales. Try not to hold the breath. Go for two more big snow angel arms. They're feeling quite nice today. And then we will let that go. We're going to roll the balls now down another inch or two. So for this one, we are going to bring them down, ladies, right about to your bra strap area, kind of that spot where your rib cage begins to end. So maybe just an inch below the bra strap area, right kind of in the middle of your spine. You are now outside of your shoulder blades. You're a couple inches below them. It's kind of the T12, L1 area, T11, T12, L1, kind of that thoracic spine is beginning to turn into the low back. This spot is often oddly sensitive on people who actually lift. Well, and kind of the general population too. It's an oddly sensitive area because a lot of things come to connect right here. It is a high juncture spot. So if this is quite tender for you, feel free to take it to the wall or just like we did before, hang out and breathe. We will take a few big breaths here as this is one of the spots where your diaphragm kind of attaches to the front of the rib cage or the front of the spine. So we're going to find a couple big breaths of the rib cage, feeling the rib cage move, but at the same time allowing the belly to expand. So those abdominal thoracic breaths. Inhale, belly rises, rib cage expands. Exhale, belly falls, rib cage collapses. Finding the movement, full movement of the rib cage and the belly with each breath in and each breath out. Taking two more big breaths. Last one. Now we're going to find some movement of the legs. The reason we're finding movement of the legs is if you're like me, I've got my right side, my psoas is quite finicky. It likes to get really tense on me. This is around the area where the psoas comes up and attaches to the spine. So getting at it from this direction is kind of a way to inadvertently get to the psoas and create a little bit of relaxation even through the front side of the body. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hug my left knee towards my chest. I'm grabbing either my knee or behind the knee, and I'm going to straighten my right leg. So creating length on the right side while hugging that left knee in, giving myself a little bit of a pulsing sensation. I'm going to pulse the knee in and then let the knee go out. Pulse the knee in and then let the knee go out, creating just little movements. Two more little pulses here. And then we'll let that leg come down and we'll switch sides. I'm going to hug my right knee in now, lengthen through my left leg, creating length on my left side while I begin to pulse this right side in. Exhaling as I pull in, inhaling as I allow it to release. Taking about two more pulses here. We'll let that leg relax. Gently, you're going to lift up, remove the balls out from underneath you. Stay on your spine for just a moment. Let everything kind of reset. We'll take some windshield wipers of the knees here, dropping both knees to the right, both knees to the left. Just taking a moment to let those postural muscles re-engage. When you're ready, roll onto your right side. Use your arms to press yourself up. We'll come up to a seat, and we will flex the arms overhead to see how much more perhaps you got. Keeping the rib cage hugged in, flexing the arms overhead. I got a lot out of that. Hopefully you did too. Finding some extra movement in that upper back hopefully helped. Looking good, everyone. All right, so we're going to move into the upper back movement here, but also kind of shoulder blade movement at the same time. So we're going to start with some thoracic cat-cows. So finding the cat-cow mainly of the upper spine. So sitting hips over heels, or if this is uncomfortable, grabbing a block, placing the block beneath you, just somewhere where you can have a nice up and down spine, but that you're also comfortable in your seated position. From your seated position, focusing on the part of your spine that your rib cage attaches to. On your exhale, you're going to fold forward and collapse, squeezing down through the front side of your body, trying to press the back part of your spine away from you, hugging it in. And then when you're ready, you'll lift through the sternum, lift it up, but at the same time, try to keep the rib cage hugged down. So you're attempting to feel those extensor muscles on the upper part of your back. Exhale, hugging in. Inhale, lifting through the sternum while at the same time hugging down through the rib cage. Exhale, hug in. Inhale, lift. Go for one more. Excellent. Then we'll let that go. Now, if you happen to have one of these Coregeous type of balls, I would grab it and use it for this next part. If you don't have a squishy air-filled ball, which any squishy air-filled ball will work, you can use a yoga block. Will have a similar effect. The ball is just more comfortable is really kind of what it comes down to. The block is slightly more uncomfortable, but it's totally doable. What we're going to do is we're going to do some thoracic crunches over the top of a block. That block will come more or less to kind of, if you're a female, right along the rib cage, the bra strap area, kind of right between the shoulder blades. That block is going to come down. The ball is the same thing. The ball will come right between the shoulder blades behind you. I'll do it with a block just to demo with a slightly more uncomfortable one because probably more of you have a block than have a ball. You'll gently grasp your hands behind your head. And I think we did these a couple weeks ago. So maybe you were here for them. On the inhale, you're going to flare the rib cage and lean back. On the exhale, that rib cage is going to hug in and squeeze. So you should feel these upper abdominal muscles a lot as you hug in. Now, this isn't just a crunch. You are going for a collapse and a squeezing in of that rib cage. So inhale, flare the rib cage as you go back. Exhale, hug the rib cage down and feel all these upper abdominal muscles turn on. Inhale as you go back. Exhale, squeeze in. Moving with your breath as you go. Inhaling back, exhaling, squeeze in. Looking good. Feel free to unmute if you have any questions or need any help. Your hands are gently guiding your head. Once again, as with regular crunches, you're not yanking on your head. You're just gently holding on to give that neck some stability. All right, the next time you come back, we'll hang out there for a moment. I'm going to demo this next part. So here's where we get into that thoracic extension. On your exhale, you'll hug in. Now you hopefully can feel this contraction of the upper abs. You're going to maintain that contraction, but at the same time, you're going to attempt to reach and extend yourself backwards. You're not going to get near as far as if you flared your rib cage, but you're trying to maintain that contraction while still finding some extension of the upper back. On the exhale, you'll re-engage that contraction, recommit to it. Inhale, you'll try to reach back with the upper spine. Exhale, contract. Keep the contraction, but reaching backwards. Exhale, maintaining that contraction. So keeping the contraction the entire time, but attempting to find that thoracic extension. It should feel hard and almost like a push-pull. More mentally exhausting probably than anything. But maybe you'll find a surprise sore spot tomorrow. Maybe take 2 more. And then when you feel like you're done, just relax over the top of the ball or the block, flare the rib cage. Find a couple breaths in that extended position. Looks really good, everyone. Once you've had a few breaths, you feel like you're kind of relaxed, you can roll off of the block or the ball, set it off to the side. Now that we've found some flexion and extension, we'll find some rotation. So coming into our upper back twist. You're going to straighten through the right leg, straighten through the right arm. The left knee will be bent, left arm comes out to a T. Pressing down through the left foot, you'll twist the pelvis. The knee is going to stay pointed up towards the ceiling as you reach across and try to find some twisting in the upper spine. Inhale, you open it up. Exhale, you twist. Keeping that knee, that left knee pointed up towards the ceiling the entire time. Inhaling as you open, exhaling as you twist. Aiming for between 5 and 7 on this side. Go for one more. I lost count. No idea how many I did, but felt about right. Let's switch sides. Bending through the right knee. Left leg will straighten, left arm comes overhead. On your exhale, press through the foot. Keep the knee pointed up towards the ceiling. Right arm reaches across the body, twisting through the upper back. Inhale as you open. Exhale as you close. Knee stays pointed straight up towards the ceiling the entire time. Don't let that knee collapse inwards. Once again, going for between 5 or 7 on this side. If you counted, if you didn't, just try to make it feel even. I'm going to go for one more. And then that feels about right. Coming back through center, we'll rock the knees side to side, little windshield wiper of the low back. All right, rolling onto your side, pressing yourself up. All right, we're gonna come back to those cat-cows just to see if they've changed with that movement there, and then we're gonna band up the cat-cows. So for our thoracic cat-cows, once again, find a nice seated position. Exhaling, you're gonna curl in, hugging down through the front side of the body, pressing that upper spine behind you. Inhale, lift, keep the rib cage down, but lift up through the breastbone. Exhaling as you close down, find your cat. Inhaling as you open up, find your cow. Noticing if that changed at all, post the extra movement on the upper back. And then we will let that go. You're gonna find your band or yoga strap. If you're doing with a band, you're going to put it on, if I can make it work today, around yourself. There it goes. As if you're wearing it as such. It's just gonna add a little bit of tension to that flexion portion of your cat. If you don't have a band, you can do the same thing with a yoga strap. The point of this is to give you something to press against to actually find that flexion in your upper spine. So giving yourself something to push against to find flexion. If you can look in the mirror or see on the video, if you have a particular portion that doesn't want to flex, you can tell my flexion occurs here. It's a little flatter through my upper back. So I will place that more on my upper back to give myself some sensation to push against and try to get more flexion through that upper thoracic and less through my lower thoracic, trying to spread that flexion out. So you set yourself up either with a rubber band, if you have it, or a yoga strap, if that works better. You are still coming into that cat-cow, pressing back into it, trying to focus on the flexion portion. Can you make yourself flex in an area that isn't getting as much flexion perhaps as it should? This is where I have love-hate relationships with mirrors. I love them because you can tell a lot by yourself. At the same time, I hate them because then I see everything I'm doing wrong. Make sure you're breathing as you're doing so. You'll know when you're done. It is quite mentally taxing to focus on it, and you'll just probably get irritated and be like, I'm finished with this. In which case you are welcome to let it go. Maybe taking one more, and then we'll call it for that one. Where we're going next. All right, we've worked a lot with the flexion extension. Now we're going to try to take it side to side. I suggest doing this one standing just because we're standing most of the day. Or when we're working out, we're standing. So being able to find your spine while you're standing is quite important. That was a little overcorrection there. All right, locate your rib cage. Sometimes it's helpful to actually find that sensory input and physically locate it, because this is the part we want moving, is this rib cage. I'm gonna bring my hands to my pelvis, and the goal is to glide my spine to the right and to the left. Now my pelvis is still, my rib cage is what is moving. Yours might be little bitty, that's okay. Some people find it helpful to give themselves just a little barrier to kind of press against. So if it's helpful to bring your hands up, please do so. Otherwise, you are reaching to the right, reaching to the left, finding that lateral glide of the rib cage. Now, as I'm doing this, I can feel my upper trap wanting to kind of help me, and so I'm going to let my arms relax and try to find it without my upper trap taking over. All right, and then we're going to let that go. We've already found kind of that anterior to posterior glide. So if you want to kind of try to find that standing, find that it's thick thoracic cat-cow, but it's also a glide of the rib cage forward, a glide of the rib cage backwards. Notice if you can find it standing. If you can't, that's okay. An attempt is all we're looking for. Because where we're going next is you're going to find a circle of your rib cage. So you're going to go forward, side, back, side. Forward, side, back, side. Can you find that rib cage gliding around the pelvis? It might be more of a square. That's okay. Squares eventually become circles when you smooth it out. Switch directions if you haven't already. Try to find it going the opposite direction. This direction is much harder for me. I can feel that this low back does not want to happen over here. So noticing those small things that might be stopping you from finding the movement that you want. And then we'll let that go. Okay, just for fun, we're going to reverse that. So now instead of moving my rib cage, I'm going to attempt to move my pelvis. Can you keep your rib cage there? This looks really weird on the video. But move your pelvis side to side. Rib cage stays still, pelvis moves. And the answer can be no. The answer is like, oh, I can go one direction, but not the other direction. That's okay too. Or maybe you're like, it's easy. I don't know what the big deal is. In which case, that's awesome for you. Good job. Look at all of you. Got this. Looks pretty good. Fantastic. All right, and then we'll just let that go. Let that be. Let's grab our strap. Actually, we're gonna take this down. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put this all together in a dead bug style movement. So dead bug is also, what does Jen call it? Oh, it's the breaths, the on the back breaths that we do. I've totally forgot. Position one breaths. There you go. Position one breaths. It's also known as dead bug. So we're going to find the connection here with all of it. So how we're going to do this is you'll come down onto your spine. And what I want you to focus on is keeping that rib cage down. So instead of letting the rib cage flare, rib cage is going to stay down in connection with the pelvis. So you're nice and braced through the core. Those upper ab muscles are working. You're then going to take your strap overhead, and my palms are facing behind me. So if you'll notice, I have the strap, but my palms are faced backwards. I'm ripping the strap in two, I'm hugging down through my rib cage, and then I'm going to stack my knees above my hips. Ripping the strap in two, hug down through the rib cage, brace through the core, while keeping everything as still as possible. I'm just going to gently touch one heel to the ground and gently touch the other heel to the ground. So it's position one breaths. I've just taken the arms out of it. I've added some stability to the arms, trying to integrate my shoulders into my core. So take a few on each side with your arms in this position. Can you maintain the hugging down of the core, the hugging down of the rib cage as your legs are moving? Spine is still, pelvis is still. The only thing that's moving is that hip bone. Julia, try to keep the knee at the same angle. Don't let the movement happen at the knee. The movement happens at the hip. That's much better. Good job, Julia. Good correction there. Everyone else, from what I can tell, looks like they're doing just fine. You will be done when you're done, and that's okay. You'll be like, oh, I'm tired. In which case, you can drop your feet to the ground, windshield wiper side to side. All right, so despite getting tired by it, if you were able to do that and maintain the spine, we're now going to up level it a bit. So you're going to take those arms towards an overhead position. Palms are still faced backwards. I'm still ripping the strap in two. Your shoulders are locked in. Okay? Rib cage is hugged down. I'm still trying to maintain that braced spine. Arms overhead at a 45-degree angle. Now I begin to attempt to move. Come into those heel drops. Notice once again that the movement is happening from the hip, not from the knee. My rib cage is down. My hip is the only thing that's working, or that is moving. Everything's working, but my hip is the only thing that's moving. Looks good, Christina. Good job, Julia. And I would almost say bring your knees closer together. So instead of a big ball, see if you can make them, yeah, like that. Make sure you are breathing, not holding the breath. When you are done, you'll know it, just knees side to side. All right, so shoulder stability as your legs are moving, which translates to shoulder stability as you are pushing weight overhead. So if you can't stabilize your bottom half, how are you stabilizing your top half? This kind of helps you find that. So we're going to do one more version, only if you want to, in which you straighten the legs and move the legs from kind of a straight position. It will look. And keep in mind, this is optional. You can always come back to version 2. Rib cage hug down, arms come overhead, ripping that strap in two. I will straighten through the legs. I don't care if you point or flex your feet. It's up to you. Leg comes down, comes back up. Leg comes down, comes back up. Spine is solid. The leg is the only thing that's moving. My rib cage is still. My pelvis is still. I'm just finding essentially that hinge at the hip, one leg at a time. Give it a try or go back to a previous version. Your arms should be feeling it a lot. I would control the down a little more, Christina. Try not to reach for the floor, reach for your end range. The floor is not the goal. The goal is maintaining that stability throughout the spine. So if you're reaching for the floor, you're probably going too far. There's no need to hit the floor. Very good. Excellent. When you're done, you can drop the feet down, drop the knees side to side, give the low back a little relief. Good work. All right, let's come up to stand, find some cat-cow standing. So standing position, kind of like our flash dance cat-cows is what we're gonna do. So from a standing position, you're gonna reach your arms in front of you, flex through the spine, find a lot of movement, and then you'll bring your arms back and extend. Like I said, it's kind of a flash dance version. Flexing through the spine, and then extending through the spine. Should feel pretty good after all that bracing. Go for one more this direction. And then you'll twist just a little bit to the right, and you'll find the same thing. So twisting to the right, reaching into your cat, reaching into your cow, reaching into your cat, reaching into your cow. Let's take one more to the right here. And then you'll twist slightly to the left, same thing. Reaching into your cat, reaching into your cow. Go for one more. And then we'll let that go. Good job, everybody. Thanks for coming. Happy Sunday. Hope you have a good week. We'll see you around. Any questions, comments, let me know. I'm happy to answer them. Otherwise, we will see you this week. Have a good one.
Thanks, Kevin. That feels good.
Good. I'm so happy to hear it. Thanks for coming, everyone. Good to see you all.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, Kevin.